Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is TBR Schmidt and this is my wife Samantha.
Hello.
And today we are watching episode 2 of The Pacific. So what'd you think of the last episode?
The episode came in hot.
Yeah.
It was very intense, as we kind of described in the last episode with Band of Brothers. We kind of got to see, that brotherhood form in their training. And this was like a little bit of home and then right into combat.
Yeah.
Not terribly large amount of character development for these actual soldiers.
Right. Yeah, characters in terms of the show, but actual people in real life.
Right. So we didn't get a whole lot of background on them. So still kind of trying to learn about them a little bit more. But we got, a lot of devastation early on. Pretty mutilated bodies.
Yeah, much more mutilated than I realized. When I went back and I was editing the episode, I was like, whoa, I did not pick up on that type of mutilation while watching.
Right. Yeah, neither of us did.
No, so just overall, it's a much more violent and graphic war than what was happening over in Europe, which, we kind of were prepared for going in. And I'm sure that trend is going to continue and only get worse. It's much different environment, much different enemy, definitely a different feel than Band of Brothers, because the majority of the first episode primarily focused on Lecky. We have a little bit of Eugene, who can't come with a heart murmur, and his friend Sid, who's kind of in the same group as Lecky.
Right. And then we have the two separate groups. So we'll kind of see, I don't know if they're going to continue to be separated. They're on the same island now.
Right.
But we'll kind of see what happens. There was just a lot of devastation out at sea too. And then they kind of experienced that a bit when they encountered the Japanese forces pretty much in the middle of the night. I don't know. I mean, in the darkness.
Right.
And I think it's going to be probably a trend for things to be so dark when all the fighting's taking place, which is insane.
Yeah, dark in multiple ways, and just the difficulty of the enemy and like literally dark at night and stuff. I mean, I really like this series so far. It definitely has its own characteristics compared to Band of Brothers, and everything from here on out is a first time for me. I had only seen parts of the first episode, so that's over with. Now it's all fresh for me and it's all fresh for you.
Right.
So really excited to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you would like to see the full-length reaction to this, as well as everything else that we have reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you would like to interact with us on Twitch or Instagram or Twitter, all of those links are in the description as well. And with that, let's get into episode 2 of The Pacific.
The American Navy suffered one of their worst defeats in history, and most of our ammunition went down with it.
It's gotta be so scary to be stranded like that.
Right.
The Marines had been left to fight the battle for Guadalcanal alone.
And if they could supply their troops, and we couldn't.
The Marines were strafed and bombed continuously.
Jeez.
And the guns just pounding.
It's non-stop.
The jungle on Guadalcanal was practically impenetrable.
You would just pray and hold on.
It's like a feeling of just hopelessness.
Yeah. I do like this intro a lot though, with the chalk.
Yeah.
It's gotta be so terrifying just moving from place to place.
There's so much other noises of just nature happening.
Yeah. Holy crap. Jeez. Just invisible.
You hit? No.
Army rations. 1918. Quartermaster over in Dog Company claims they're edible.
Claims they're edible.
Right.
After you suck on them for about an hour or two.
Oh, man.
Dear Vera, it's raining. I'm entertaining Runner by reading him this letter. Ever so slowly strip you of your... you don't need to hear that part.
Oh, that's precisely what I need to hear.
We've been swallowed by the jungle and 5,000 Japs waiting to kill us.
Hey, thanks for brightening the mood.
Right. Rice.
Rice.
Oh.
Those are really small portions of rice, too.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about BO and pancakes.
I don't answer to you, Morgan.
John, I shit like 20 times a day. My ass is killing me.
Ew.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
You give it as meat.
Oh. Any protein you can get, I guess.
Would you care to know what the Nips think of us? Yes, sir. Recruited from jails and insane asylums for bloodlust. We're just raggedy-ass Marines. We look this way for a reason. Hey, whoa, hey!
Jeez.
Thanks for coming, guys! Fucking army.
Looks like some supplies.
Mm-hmm.
The Army don't know the Japs bombed the airfield, not the beach.
Perfect time to get some much needed food. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Come on, get in. Come on, JP, come on.
Very small window.
Right. Oof.
Army gets the new stuff and we fight with shit my grandfather used.
Oh, damn it!
That's amazing. I did not think I would see the Marines stealing supplies from the Army.
Into his trunk and stealing a box of cigars. Not just any shoes, said they were his favorite pair of moccasins.
Not me.
Bad luck for that captain.
Yeah, well, you might want to watch where you wear those.
Drink any hooch you might not.
Traded the crackers of F Company.
Hey, Peaches.
Peaches. I got the goddamn runs. You had to get peaches.
Like the best peaches ever.
This poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Peaches. Your new name is Peaches.
Oh my god, just shitting and puking right next to each other.
He's still there?
Yeah.
Your new nickname is Old Faithful. Fuck you, Peaches.
So much for only bombing the airfield.
You're okay. You're okay.
There's nothing you could do, just lay there
Yeah.
and hope for the best.
They always have a dog?
That's the first time I saw a dog.
Gosh.
Just buried.
Start taking out.
Wow.
Direct hit.
There's just no stop in any of
No.
this. They're getting killed by the food, by the weather, by the enemy.
And that is going to leave us alone, singled up on the line. If the Japs do break through, our orders are to take to the jungles and fight as guerrillas. This is not going to happen.
Aye, sir.
Fight like gorillas sounds like fight to the last man, because no one's coming.
Anakin's being pulled up north to Montanacal. Japs will make the push up there.
You'll be singled up.
Just like Chesty said.
He wants every gun pit on a party line, so we got a man listening at all times.
It's just straight up jungle trench warfare.
We're putting the cooks on the line, but don't have enough cooks.
Only the officers get the lucky strikes. We must really be fucked.
Yep.
Right?
This weather is brutal.
Yeah. It's already difficult enough to be nighttime, but not to be pouring rain.
I was thinking I played the trombone. That was a joke. Look at you.
I got the whole fucking Jap army headed your way.
Oh no.
Pull out and hook up with Able Company.
First Battalion, hold your fire as long as possible.
We don't have enough men. Run as much ammo down there as you can.
Aye, sir.
They're coming.
Coming right at us.
Already spotted? They're already past.
Oh,
They're so close. So close.
Reload!
Oh my god, they're just charging. I mean, they were feet away.
Yeah.
This is our last box too, Sergeant.
Maybe Rodriguez will make it down. More ammo.
Yeah, he needs to get there with more ammo. Oh, jam.
Oh, there's so many of them.
They overran it! Both guns are out! Where the hell is my glove?
Oh my god. No. Oh my god. Oh.
Let's go!
There's like no line. They're literally just all mixed with each other.
You okay? Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine!
They're just shooting with any gun they have. Pistol, shotgun.
Shit.
He's just grabbing that thing. Oh my god, it's gotta be so hot.
Now you got a clear field of fire.
A clear field.
Wow, he moved the bodies out of the way so that they could have a sight. Just got knocked down from a bomb. That was just like a tidal wave.
Yeah. Just non-stop.
I'd be afraid of cleaning up the bodies too.
Yeah, after last time. The
Yeah.
one guy that was still alive.
Manny, all right?
Haven't seen him.
Those are third-degree burns. Have a seat over there and we'll get to you when we can. Manny Rodriguez? I wish I could keep track.
No morphine.
I'm putting you in for a medal, John.
Just died alone in the jungle.
It's gone, isn't it? Eugene, I don't need your permission, Father.
That they had had their flesh torn. It was that they had had their souls torn out. I don't want to look in your eyes someday and see no spark, no love. That would break my heart. Give me some time to break the news to your mother.
Thank you, Father.
Getting so many different perspectives.
Yeah.
The father-son relationships. Much different than the first episode.
For those who fell, there is no hell. Not for the brave who died.
It'd be tough to write that poem. I mean, what the hell rhymes with Guadalcanal?
How fucked are we now on Guadalcanal?
We're finally leaving this shithole.
Sure, that's gotta be a nice sight to see all of your ships off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a split second. Manny steps to the left instead of his right.
He was where he was, and, you know.
You don't ever think about that?
I try not to think.
If it happens, it happens.
It's gotta be much different climbing into this boat than out of it.
Wow. That shot.
Yeah.
Shit, I can get you guys some coffee. Milk and sugar?
Some warmth.
Yeah.
Before you got here, had you ever even heard of this place?
Guadalcanal? Everybody's heard of Guadalcanal in the 1st Marine Division. Your heroes back home.
They didn't even know how to pronounce it on their way there.
Give me chills.
All right, that was episode 2 of The Pacific. What'd you think?
This is rough. This is a rough series already.
Yeah, I mean, this is only the second episode and it's brutal.
Yeah, I feel like there's just so much unknown, and it's really just like an uphill battle the entire time. Like, these guys, what they're up against is just like,
it's everything.
Yeah, it's like unimaginable. Like, they're just the underdogs for the entire time. There's no method to the madness. There's nothing that they can track. They're fighting at night in the darkness and against weather. They don't, like, how do you even do that?
Their bodies are not acclimated to the wildlife there, or the food, or, you know,
or lack of food.
Lack of supplies, that feeling of isolation, being afraid of being stuck on an island.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck on an island with an enemy who's trying to kill you.
And no backup.
No foreseeable backup. That one moment where they were like, oh, the army gets all the new stuff and we're fighting with the stuff that my parents fought with, or my grandparents or whatever, in the Great War. And there's just so much against them.
Mm-hmm.
And what's different is, you know, you see battles in Band of Brothers, and there's a lot of tactics going on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And this, it's literally just a wave of humans. So much so that the bodies literally piled up to create cover for the enemies.
Right.
Like, that was like an insane moment when I believe that was John who ran out there and had to push bodies over just so that they could keep seeing the enemy.
Right.
It's just an entirely different world than what was happening in Band of Brothers.
Yeah, and you know, John was like the standout in this episode.
Yeah.
He did everything like without thinking, without second thought, you know, grabbing his gun, and it's just burning. Like, you could hear it like searing his skin.
Yeah, just.
And then him jumping up, like you said, and clearing, like pushing bodies down, and he's running around. He's trying to grab ammo. He's
fighting in that one part in the jungle against multiple enemies, and using his gun as like a weight to smash them. And
yeah,
it's just, you know, and that's insane. I mean, they were so thin that the enemy broke through, that they were literally having fights in between their points of just running back and forth.
Right.
You know, similar to the first episode, it was just pure chaos. This was just on another level, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a lot, and it majority of the episode was in darkness. You know, we're watching this on a television screen. Like, this is meant for us to be able to see what's going on, and they're probably not able to see barely any of this. I mean, the flares are going up for them to get a glimpse of light, and at that point it's too late. Like, the flares are going up because it's too late.
The second flare that went off, and they looked, and like they had already cut through like the majority of the barbed wire, and it was just like, what? And like, here they come.
Yeah, it's just, how do you even manage that? And then we dealt with losing Manny. That was like heartbreaking. And, you know, I think that John took that especially hard.
Oh yeah, that was, you know, a close friend of his.
Yeah.
And no one seemed to be with him. I don't know if he got shot or if he got hit with a bomb or some shrapnel or something.
Yeah, it looked like he got shot through his back.
Yeah.
To his chest.
I think just the realization that he just died there alone in the jungle. And, you know, that's just rough. I mean, you know, pair that with the kind of conversation that he had where it's like, if he stepped to the left, he's still here. If he stepped to the right, he's gone. Like, do you ever think of how easy it is to just be in the wrong place? And I feel like there was a lot of examples of that in this episode, starting off with the first scene where it was daylight and they were kind of stopped in that like grass field, and I don't know who that was, but just immediately dead without question. Like, you know, 1 second he's there, the next second he's gone.
Right. And it was really him like taking that step forward. Otherwise there wouldn't have been anybody there.
Yeah. And then you had another moment of the people in the bunker.
Just when like it just started like raining bombs.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah.
So it's just rough. I mean, I know that's how all, you know, battle is. It's 1 second that you're there and 1 second you're not. But this episode really kind of highlighted that.
Yeah.
People told us to be prepared for a lot more kind of brutality in this, because I think that's just realistically how it was. It does kind of remind me of this like period of getting used to a different type of warfare. There's a lot of familiarity, again, with the settings of the European invasion, but also with the enemy. There's similar ways of thinking, of strategizing. You can kind of maybe plan, or at least kind of maybe get inside the mind of your enemy and kind of say, okay, well, this is where they're going to go. This is where they're going to send their troops and stuff. This is just like, okay, well, we think they're going to come here, and no, they're just going to pour a wave of humans at us, and they're not going to stop. They don't have cover, they don't have appropriate weapons or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're coming, and you better have enough men and you better have enough ammo to hold us back, or else you're done. And I think that's just a mentality where it's you don't expect that. You don't expect, you know, that scene of John just with his gun there, just unloading on, again, like hundreds of enemies coming over, and everyone's just kind of like looking at him as he's just tearing through people. And I think that's just something different that you didn't really see a lot of in Band of Brothers, is just the sheer volume of slaughter that's going on. It's definitely impactful.
Yeah, this is a lot heavier than Band of Brothers was. And that was, you know, I loved Band of Brothers. It was a fantastic show. It was incredibly well done. But this is just like on a whole other level, just like darkness.
Yeah, just darkness and violence, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, they're completely separate series.
Right.
So, I mean, we're only comparing them because that's, you know, the most current thing that we have to compare them with, and the fact that it's still World War II.
Right.
But, you know, in real life, these are two drastically different things, so it makes sense that the shows are drastically different.
Yeah.
It's just something that we're still kind of getting used to. It's very impressive for the show. These are shorter episodes. They're only about 50 minutes long. They jam-pack quite a lot in this, especially covering, you know, really focusing on specific characters. You get a bit of Lecky, you had a lot of John, and that kind of finished up this episode with Eugene seemingly getting his heart murmur is no longer apparent, and he's enlisting.
Right. Yeah, so my assumption would be that Eugene is going to join them, or at least they're going to run into each other at some point. But it makes me think of like the replacements in Band of Brothers, where it's like he's missed all of this.
Yeah, he's missed Guadalcanal.
Yeah. So it's like thinking, how is he going to be treated? He does have, I believe it's Sid as a friend here, but it's just, you know,
will he even be with Sid? Like, right.
Yeah. It so much reminds me of that. And I'm just curious if it's going to be kind of that same sort of mindset coming in late.
Because there seems to be some, like, not animosity, but I can't really think of a better word towards replacements, but it does quickly go away.
Yeah.
I feel like within like one serious battle or, you know, some sort of traumatic event, that it's, you know, it's no longer, oh, these are the replacements. These are your brothers that you're fighting with.
Right.
But that is a very interesting point. I wonder if he will encounter any sort of, you know, pushback, because, you know, you weren't with us with Guadalcanal, so you don't know how hard it is.
Yeah.
That was an impactful scene between the father and the son, kind of the differences when Lecky left and the father, you know, was having a conversation about his car. And we kind of took it as like, oh, that's a little cold, but looking at it a little bit more, we're a little bit more like, you know, I think the father's doing this on purpose because he's probably just genuinely terrified that he's never going to see his son again, and he just doesn't want to live in that reality.
Right.
Whereas this interaction, the dad seemingly knows, like, even if you survive and you come back, I'm terrified that your soul will be dead.
Yeah, like you're not going to be the same person that you were when you left. And I know that there's nothing that I can do to change your mind or to keep you here. Like, let me talk to your mother to, you know, let her know what's happening. But, like, this may be the last of, like, you that I know.
Yeah, if you survive, this is still, you know, you're not going to come back as my son anymore. I'm going to look into your eyes and see something else.
Right.
And that's what terrifies me. And that's very interesting, coming from the doctor's perspective of, like, it wasn't the torn flesh that, you know, keeps him up at night. It's seeing men without their souls anymore.
Right.
Which, I mean, you experience battle like this. I don't know how that doesn't massively affect you as a human. So a very, very strong episode, very impactful. You know, we're only 2 episodes in, so, you know, there's so much more to cover. It seems like they're moving on from Guadalcanal, and before they got there, you know, they had that conversation of, we're going to be fighting on, you know, specks of dirt that no one's ever even heard of.
Yeah.
And now everyone in America knows about Guadalcanal. Everyone knows about the Marines that fought there, and you're all heroes. And, you know, them sitting around there with their coffee, is that good? Like, are they sitting there like happy, like, oh, I am a hero? Or is it like, after going through that, is it, I don't even care? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think there's like a little bit of shock, like, wow, like people know about us, but at the same time, that doesn't take back anything that happened. It doesn't bring back any of the people that they lost.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're heroes. Okay, like
I don't feel like a hero.
I don't feel like a hero. I've just watched, you know, dozens of my best friends die, and I've gone through some terrible warfare. So, very interesting end to the episode. You know, a lot of strong parts, and I'm really excited to keep this going.
Yeah, it's a hard watch, but I'm glad that we're watching it. I think it's important, and yeah, we'll see what comes next.
Just excited to see where this series goes, and we want to thank everyone for all the support. If you would like to see the full-length reaction to this, as well as everything else that we've reacted to, the link to our Patreon is in the description. If you would like to interact with us on any other types of social media, all of those links are in the description as well. And with that, peace everyone.
Bye.
Bye.